This rogue build is a really fast-paced flurry spamming build, really fun, really carpal tunnel inducing. Picture yourself as a fast-moving porcupine freezing shit all over the place. And with the help of passives like Aftermath, you can just spam a whole lot of flurries. And Aftermath got even more buffed after the latest patch where energy restored is going up from 75 to 90. So basically fully refilling your energy. And you will have multiple resets on your ice imbuement aided by your trap skills and their reset passives. It is kind of a hybrid trap build, freeze enemies and lay traps on top of their heads. And again guys, I will have the build's graphic in the description and comments below. But before we get into skills and gear, I want to show you how the build is actually played. First, you can jump into a group with Shadow Step or just run up, get your ice imbuement up, immediately lay your poison trap right after for a chance to reset ice imbuement, puncture for a guaranteed vulnerable, and start spamming flurry, freezing and causing vulnerable on all mobs around you. And by freezing 3 or more mobs, we instantly get 3 stacks of our passive, momentum, gaining damage reduction, energy regen, and movement speed. And when you are about to run out of energy, you activate Death Trap to fill your energy full again with the help of the passive Aftermath, and the rest of your skills are all fully reset, and you can repeat that rotation again. That's basically the full playstyle. You just have to position a bit in the middle of mobs to get your traps and flurry off perfectly, and when you do, it's really satisfying to play. But yeah, let's go over all the skills. So our basic attack is Puncture, because it's the only skill that can give guaranteed vulnerable, and we definitely need that for improved flurry to go off. So for basic skill, we're picking up Puncture, for core, flurry, and we're picking all 3 points in close damage reduction, sturdy, and all points in siphoning strikes. And of course we get improved flurry. And then for movement skill, we are picking up Shadow Step. Shadow Step mainly for the unstoppable, and it has a very low cooldown, especially with disciplined Shadow Step. And then we're picking up all 3 points in concussive because we're gonna have multiple resets on poison trap, and we will be knocking down enemies with enhanced poison trap. And then we're picking up all 3 points in weapon mastery, then of course poison trap, and then we're gonna take countering poison trap just for a chance to reset our imbuement skill, and then all 3 points in exploit and malice. And then of course for this build we're picking up the cold imbuement with the passive mixed cold imbuement for more damage, and we're picking up all 3 points for frigid finesse, and we don't really need chilling weight, so no points there. And then we pick all 3 points in precision imbuement. Then for the ultimate we're picking up Death Trap, and as I mentioned before, we're taking Aftermath and Trap Mastery as well. We're gonna have a lot of traps going off as well as vulnerable enemies, so this is a must take. And then I picked up 3 points in haste just for the movement speed. This you can decide if you want to pick up or not, but I just like the extra movement speed from this. And from our key passive, we're of course taking momentum. It's fairly easy to get all 3 stacks of momentum with our ice imbuement when we freeze enemies. And then for our specialization, we are going with preparation, and with the help of Aftermath and Death Trap, we're going to be spamming flurry a lot, right? So we're going to be using up a lot of energy, so it's going to help reduce the cooldown of Death Trap. And then whenever we use Death Trap, all our other cooldowns are reset as well. And for aspects, just like most of my leveling builds, I'm just gonna go with 3 or 4 aspects to keep up. Actually, you should only keep up 1 aspect. It's gonna be resource intensive to keep up a lot of aspect as you're leveling because you're switching gears so much. But anyway, our main aspect to keep up is aspect of encircling blades, which makes flurry a 360 area wide damage, and it also increases damage by a bit. You definitely want to keep this aspect up since you don't need to aim flurry anymore since it attacks in a circle now. So that's the main aspect you want to keep up. I even put a star on it. And another good aspect you want to keep up is vengeful aspect. We get extra critical strike chance every time we make anything vulnerable, and it's really easy to make anything vulnerable around you with flurry, so you definitely want to get that aspect also if you can. Or another one you can pick up is ravenous aspect. You generate more spirit whenever you kill a vulnerable enemy. And another aspect I would take is aspect of inner calm. This is kind of a flip because you do a lot of damage, but you do have to stay in one spot. I do tend to stay in one spot a lot when I'm flurrying, just spamming flurry, so I do pick this up, but if you move around a lot, don't pick this up. So for gear, I've listed all the affixes you want to look for if you want to boost your damage. Just look for critical strike chance, vulnerable damage, critical strike damage, and dexterity in your gear. I've also listed each individual gear pieces in the graphic, so you can also check that out, but the main things you want to just remember is these affixes if you want to increase your damage. And of course you want the defensive affixes in your chest and in your pants, and maybe some life in helm. But aside from that, you want to just stack up crit chance, vulnerable damage, crit damage, and your core main stat dexterity. So capping off the build, single target is, I'm going to be honest, it's not too great, but it doesn't keep the build from being fun. Delivery damage is really good with our flurry spam and traps. especially the traps. Survivability is very solid, as we take a lot of damage reduction in skills, and we heal up a ton through flurry and siphoning strikes. Clearing speed of content is fast, we move fast, and we have good AoE damage. And finally, the build is extremely fun to play. But yeah, that's the build. I will have the default build link and my graphic for it in the description below. If you like the build, please consider giving it a thumbs up and subscribe if you would like to see more of this content. And again, thank you guys so much for watching.